think you can prepare physically, practically, but mentally is the area that I really don't think you can prepare for that.
No, until you're actually on it. Yeah.
So it's what lies beneath.
What lies beneath.
I think that's
Yeah,
everybody's
that's,
natural fear is what lies beneath.
Yeah.
And things that you may get sharks and whales.
Yeah.
So this week on the Evolve to Succeed podcast, we've got two inspiration and incredible ladies, Julie Eddicott and Sally Percival, who in December will be rowing across the Atlantic. We will be talking to them about why they're undertaking the challenge, some of their biggest fears, some of the things they want to gain from rowing and this challenge. It's a great episode full of inspiration, so please do enjoy. We've recorded this episode thanks to the boat club at Parkston Bay Marina in Poole. So a great facility, a great nautical location as well to record this episode. Hello Julie, hello Sally. Welcome to the Evolve to Succeed podcast.
Hi Warren.
Really interested to have this conversation with you. I'm fascinated. I've got questions galore. I've been down on the boats. That was an experience in itself, but it was only on dry land. But so many questions I want to ask you. But for our listeners, could we put into context, you're going to undertake the world's toughest row. So what is this challenge that you're about to undertake in December this year?
It is, it's a big challenge. So we're going to be rowing from east to west, from Gomera, Canary Islands, to Antigua. So it's 3,000 miles.
Wow.
In a rowing boat with 4 of us.
So there's 4 of you. So the 4 team members are clearly the 2 of you and?
We've got Mary Sutherland and Ed Dewar.
Okay.
So three ladies and 1 poor guy.
Yeah.
So a mixed team.
Mixed
Yeah.
team.
Is that quite unusual?
Not necessarily these days.
No, it has been round the other way. So 3 guys, 1 lady. So.
Okay. It's been done all sorts of ways.
Yeah, it's been done every way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell the listeners about the boat, because obviously I've seen the boat. I think we posted some pictures on our channel about the boat, but if people haven't seen it, what size is it? What does it look like?
So the boat is made by Rannoch, and it's a 28.5-foot long boat, which is 5 feet wide, with 2 cabins either end that are sleeping quarters and navigation.
Yeah, I've tried to get in and out of those cabins.
Yeah, it's a tight squeeze.
It is.
It's a tight squeeze.
I only just about made it.
Yeah, something I can't unsee, Warren. But yeah, 2 sleeping cabins either end. One sits below the waterline and one sits above the waterline.
Okay.
One has navigation equipment in it and the other one not. And then 3 rowing positions.
Okay.
So,
And length of boat approximately?
28.5 feet.
28.5 feet. So
Yes.
it's a small boat to get across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
It is.
And it looks even smaller when it's in the water.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Always.
So the first and inevitable question is why? And how did it come about? Who's driving the project? Is it something you've always wanted to do? Let's put again some context around why you're undertaking this challenge.
Okay, so for me, this is something that I've had in the back of my mind for about 10 years now. I've been sail racing in Antigua, lucky enough to sail on a boat called Zigzag for the last 10 years. So I've been in a prime position for 10 years to watch these rowing boats come in.
Okay.
And we've watched them come across the finish line. We've watched them come right into the harbour. We've watched the celebrations. We've seen I've seen the expression on their faces when their legs buckle when they arrive, and had a good opportunity to talk to them. So it's been building up in me for 10 years, and I wanted to wait till my children were old enough. And I often get asked the question, why am I doing it? Has it been born out of something?
Yeah, is there a motivation or a drive that's led to this?
The original drive was seeing it for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm a rower as well. I like the water, so that was the initial thing. And then there was something that a relationship breakdown gave me the push that I needed to actually enter into the whole thing for real.
Yeah.
So it kind of came, the decision I made to do the row and to buy the boat and to sign up came out of a situation where I thought, well, my relationship's going to end anyway, so I'm just going to do it.
Just going to do it anyway. Solve the relationship and off you go.
So I signed up to it. So it's a bit of both, really. It's a 50-50 for me. So.
And you, Sally, how did it come about?
It came about. So I'm a rower. So myself and Julie know each other from Christchurch Rowing Club. Rowed there for a number of years. I remember having a conversation in the middle of our sort of race season with a group of rowers saying, would it be quite cool one day if we actually, anyone's thought about an Atlantic rowing boat? Would that be quite cool? So the conversation happened, and I always kept that at the back of my mind, but nothing actually came of it until last year when I saw Julie and knew that she was up to this campaign and had the boat. And I thought, hang on, that's bugging me. But I thought, no, I'll leave it for a little while because I don't really know. I'm not too sure. That's quite a big deal.
Yeah.
But then it bugged me that I left it. I thought, no, I've got to ask.
I've got to get involved.
I've got to get involved. I need to know what that's about. So obviously Julie had a conversation, discussed it very briefly at home. Great support from my husband. He said, if that's what you want to do, go and do it. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
That's the support you need from your partner, isn't it? That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, but I also, there's something in me. It sounds cliche and a bit cheesy, but I have sailed across the Atlantic 20 odd years ago when I was in a previous life of sailing. And there's something about being out there, you just want to go back to it again. Yeah. So I thought I'd want to return to the ocean in some way, whatever way that was going to be. Okay. And it turns out to be in a rowing boat. So a lot slower than sailing.
Brilliant.
So that was my...
Yeah.
That's my one
and
too.
The other two, I mean, did you buy a boat with it having to build the team, Julie?
Yes. So usually the way you do it is you build the team and then you buy the boat. Yeah. But I saw this boat for sale. I knew I needed to do something quite drastic. Went to Spain, bought the boat off a Spanish team that had won, that actually won it during that year.
Okay, so the boat's got pedigree.
It's won it 3 times now, and it's come second. So it's got 3 wins and 1 second.
Right.
I think it's probably more about the team than the boat, but we'll say.
See.
I went to Palamos, bought the boat, and then when the boat finished the race, it was shipped to the UK, and then built the team.
Okay.
But building the team actually has been the hardest part, and then getting to the start line is the second hardest part. I did have an attempt at putting a team together before, but I think I rushed it a bit, and it made me realise just how important the characters are. You do need the right mix, the right characters. So there's a couple of failed attempts at putting a team together, and then finally rather than me searching for a team, it kind of came to me. So Sally gave me a little nudge in the captain's club while I was having a coffee, and then I met Mary in Antigua because she does sail racing as well, and then I met Mary at a party, and we got talking about it, and then Ed's the only one actually who was put our way from Atlantic campaigns.
Okay.
So we didn't know.
So
Ed.
he'd approached them to say, this is something I'd like to do. Is there anybody that needs a team member?
Yes.
That's cool as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is cool. And they kind of search what would be in an ideal sort of makeup of crew for that person as well. So they kind of searched us out too.
Yes.
In a way.
Yeah.
And that team dynamics is going to be so important, isn't it? Because you are going to be, how many days is it going to take?
About
45.
Okay. So everybody's going to hold you to that.
I'm the realistic one, and I'm saying 45 to 50, but every now and again I hear a 42 from a crew member.
randomly.
So,
Is that you?
Might be me. Or like 40 days, 40 nights. Yeah.
So, but you're going to be on this boat, 28 foot, middle of the Atlantic, for 40-ish days.
40-ish days,
Cool. We'll go with that. But you're going to have to work so intensively as a team, aren't you? How do you actually get to the point that you put the team together and you said you've had a few failed attempts, then you get a team that you think is going to work? We'll talk about perhaps how do you actually prepare for the row physically. How are you going about building yourself as a team that will fulfill the challenge from a psychological and a personality perspective?
That's a good weighty question.
It is a weighty question.
It's a big one.
Well, I think so. So the build up, once you've established the team and the members, and you've all committed from a family perspective or a mental perspective, and then there's a financial perspective as well. Once you've made that commitment, then it's just about spending as much time together as possible. So we spend 2 weekends a month together. We speak to each other sometimes daily, weekly, and we're just working hard together. And we've divvied out all the jobs and the roles, and we just need to spend hours on the boat together. And we need to do a certain number of qualifying hours, don't we?
That's right. Yeah, which is a weekend coming up at the end of June. So we're now at that time where we're, trying to see as much as possible we can at weekends, which is occurring quite a lot now. We're in the month of June. So there is that pressure of us having more time together and just rowing and playing with the kit on board the boat as much as we possibly can, get to know the boat.
And then get to know each other, I
get to know each other
suppose.
more.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
as well as being social as well, having fun socially and getting to know each other's characters that way as well, which is...
But the two of you clearly do know each other, and by the sounds of it, have known each other a little while through Christchurch Rowing Club together.
Yeah. Yes.
So the other two are more outsiders. So you guys, I suppose, watch that dynamic,
isn't it?
have you?
It may be, possibly. And probably because Julie and I are local as well. So
Yeah.
we're the two closest, and we've got Mary in Portsmouth and Ed in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose we are quite in that way aware of that situation.
Yeah.
But we check in with each other
Yeah.
a fair bit.
Yeah.
We make phone calls or, and we've got obviously the WhatsApp group and
Constant comms on WhatsApp
constant
group.
comms. Yeah. And we've been out, we've all had drinks together.
Yeah.
We've been on bike rides. If we
Yeah.
can't row, we went on a bike ride a couple of weekends ago.
Okay.
So
Over at Yarmouth on the Isle of Wight, which is good fun. Good, that in itself is good team building.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Bit of session as well, not just rowing and thinking about that. So
Yeah.
but there will be moments in our training rows where we may think, oh, is this, did we really sign up for this?
Yeah.
But that's what they're for.
Yeah,
They're
it's
there
about getting out
to
there.
they're there to test you.
yeah,
And to prepare you as much as possible. I think you can prepare physically, practically, but mentally is the area that I really don't think you can prepare for that.
until you're actually on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a...
It's interesting. And when did the campaign training truly begin? So December, what date do you go in December?
December the 12th.
December
An
the
ultimate
12th.
date, start
Yes.
date. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
set in stone.
Yeah.
When did your campaign and your training truly begin, do you think?
Oh, God. Was it training maybe January last year or something, wasn't it? Physical training and sorts, and then...
Oh yes, it was September.
Yeah.
Yes, September. I feel like we probably tinkered with it in September, and then we really got our teeth stuck in January.
Yeah, I suppose so, isn't it?
Yeah.
Launched into it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good year.
Okay. And what does physical training look like then? We talked about the mental training and preparation. Perhaps we'll cover that in a bit more. But what does the physical training, what have you got to do to get to the point where you can fulfill this challenge physically?
We've got a great guy called Nick Reese, who's our trainer.
Okay.
He's a personal trainer of us. He's local to us in Christchurch, Dorset. So Julie and I and Ed check in as often as we can by face-to-face sessions with him. So he'll weekly give us like 4 rowing sessions on the rowing machine, and then we've got weight sessions mixed in with that as well.
Okay.
So yes, up to like 2 hours on an ergo, which is like
Hell.
hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ride a bike and I can do 2 hours
Right,
on a bike.
machine
I
is
probably
like-
only do 10, 15 minutes on an ergo.
Satan's
Yeah.
exercise machine, isn't it? An ergo.
It's monotonous.
So monotonous, yeah.
Yeah, Sally breaks hers up with little chunks, don't you?
Yeah, a little break it
So-
up rather than just being a solid like 2
Yeah.
hours staring at something. You've got to break it up
Yeah.
and speed it up. So
Whereas I will put a film on
Right.
and
Just
watch a
go for it.
series, a Netflix.
I'll try that maybe one day.
But you're not going to have Netflix in the middle of the ocean.
No, we won't.
And put some other things going on, I assume.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Lots of weather to look at. And ways.
And how does that regime, when you're on the boat rowing across the Atlantic, is it an hour on, 2 hours on, 3 hours on? How are you going to manage that physicality? And do you row 24/7?
Yeah, so it will be 24/7. Yeah, so it'll be 2 hours on, 2 hours off. So
Okay.
2 in the cabin either end, 2 on the oars.
Right.
Depending what the conditions are, so we could be stuck on a power anchor and locked away in our cabins for a day or so whilst we're got beam on seas or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or we could be having flat, calm seas where we probably need to make up some miles because it's flat and calm and a bit monotonous.
And I understand it's like rowing through treacle when you've got no wind and it's calm.
No.
So you do want some quite spicy waters. It makes it a little bit more interesting. You're going to go quicker. You don't really want it for the carnival of the way.
Yeah,
No, that would be really big.
What's the
really
waves, some good swell, bit of surfing. Make up some miles.
Sounds lovely. Neither of you get seasick, obviously.
No,
We don't know.
We don't. Well, we haven't. I haven't done to date, and you haven't done to date.
No, but anything that happened, it's all down
Yeah.
to sea state and how that situation feels.
When you get big swell,
psychological.
that and you're so low down, that can produce seasickness.
Right.
So,
Even though you're used to being on a bigger boat, sailing across, and
Yeah.
doing those kind
Yeah.
of things.
yes,
Yeah.
and but I'm told it goes within 5 days.
Yeah.
So as long as you can stay hydrated and keep eating small amounts, it will eventually disappear.
Right. Body
So-
will get used to it.
Touch wood, we won't get that.
No.
But never know.
So 2 hours on, 2 hours off. That does, and 2 of you rowing at any one time.
Yeah,
So 2 of you resting, 2 of you rowing.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the plan.
How are you? Do you train for the sleep deprivation? Because you know we're all used to, 6-8 hours sleep a night and a normal kind of rhythm and pattern. But your body's going to have to adjust to that as well. isn't
You're
it?
kind of forced into that position. You start that first week, 5 days, 4 or 5 days, just in that situation where you're just like, okay, well, this is it. And you just get into that routine. I think our bodies are quite good at catnapping, as humans are quite good at
Yeah,
constant.
the first 2 weeks is going to be the hardest.
The tongue.
Okay.
Because your body's going to adjust to it. You might be seasick. Also, getting away from La Gomera can be quite difficult
Okay.
in yourself. You just need to get away. You need to just head south and get away as quickly as you can.
Okay.
So I think the first 2 to 3 weeks will be really hard on us, particularly me, Sally, and Ed. Mary's done this before, so she's a little bit
She's
more
done the
used
challenge before.
Twice before.
twice. Not this particular one, but she's rowed
She's rowed across the Atlantic.
2 oceans. She's done New York to Falmouth, and she did the Pacific.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she knows what's coming, and I don't know if it's
She's holding it back, I reckon.
I don't know.
She wants to do it. She wants to do it again. She's not going to pin you off.
yeah, that's true. So, but yeah, so I don't know that you can prepare for that.
No.
A few people have said, well, are you going to have some sleepless nights, to train for it before you go? I'm getting the impression that's not advisable.
I suppose you need to be rested in the best state,
Yeah.
mentally and physically, as you start the challenge. Don't you? Don't want to put yourself in that place.
It's gloves on and just get on with it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And we sort of arrived out in Gomera a couple of weeks before the start. So those 2 weeks we're out there is kind of preparation of that. So we're getting a whole lot of preparation and sort of team building sessions going on from the Atlantic campaign safety team and everything. So there'll be a lot of advice and briefing from them too. So that will help us along.
It must be great to have Mary on board as part of the team with that experience.
Yes.
What's the best piece of advice that she's given you both so far about undertaking the challenge?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's about
I've got one.
just being the best that you can be, really, and just, being really aware of where you are. That sounds really, isn't it? But yeah,
I seem to recall Mary highlighting the importance of hydration. And food. Because particularly, if somebody gets sick, then one of her hardest challenges, I believe, was to actually keep them hydrated, because it's the last thing you want to do. So I think I think her top tip would be hydration and food.
Yeah. That is our fuel to keep us going, as we are the engines of this boat.
We are on the boat. Yeah. And assume food is dry food. There's no luxury in the food you're going to eat. Is there?
No.
It's all about getting calories in.
It is. We've tried varying different makes and bits of food and things. So some of them are really good, some of them not good. But as you know, Mary has just said, they all sound really great now, but eventually we're really not going to enjoy them after a while.
You look at that sachet and it's something dried, and it's going to be, I've got one of those tonight.
That's it. And then we've got snack packs as well, which are little, your little things that you want in between meals. So your dried fruit, nuts, chocolate.
Yeah, the treats.
The treats.
The treats.
Those bits that are going to keep us going.
We'll try and stay in a routine of breakfast, lunch, dinner, and that's the bulk of your calories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have sort of porridge and muesli, then lunch and dinner, and then in between you've got your snack packs. But each of us will have a different calorie requirement. So it's all based on your weight, and as long as you can get those calories in, you should, in theory, come back roughly the same weight. If you do it right. Although there is an element of sweat, and
that's right.
and if you get seasick, then you may struggle with a little bit of weight. The average weight loss is 8 kilos.
That's significant.
Per person. Yeah,
Fair amount, isn't it?
yeah,
Definitely.
but the safety team do highlight that if you get your nutrition right, you shouldn't come back too much lighter.
No, exactly.
Yeah, we'll see.
Good at
They
the
do
other end.
before and after pictures, which are funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
Quite showing.
Quite showing, quite telling.
Telling,
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
and very telling on the skin. So like sun cream is going to be that's going to become a chore.
Yeah.
Sun cream every day.
Yeah.
All day,
Big hats as well, hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And all of that sounds difficult enough, doesn't it? Without possibly weather conditions.
Yeah, then you're going to add that in. Absolutely, yeah. So you can row beautifully down the river as you think you can, or wherever you're going to go. And then you're like, whoa, you've got one side you got a blade in, the other one you haven't.
Yeah.
We had some experience of that recently. So we had the Solent chop, which is really unpleasant to row in.
Yeah.
And you suddenly realise that as soon as you get a little bit of chop, you can't get your blades in, and they're going in at different times, and there is
you get stuck
nothing.
in.
There's nothing graceful about your rowing.
No, not
at all.
No.
And it must be easy at that point to lose your rhythm. And
Yep.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I got thumped in the chest, and
Yeah, you can thump your thigh, all sorts of things. Yeah. So it's just being aware and just reading.
Ed fell off his seat. Do you remember Ed? Ed?
Yeah.
He fell off his seat.
But these are all good stuff, all good experiences.
so,
We have to go through.
deepest fears? We've talked a lot about some of the excitement. You can see the joy on both your faces that this is what you're going to do. But when you're, laid there at night, even now, there must be some fears and concerns and deep sort of thoughts of what could happen. For each of you, what's that biggest fear that you have?
I suppose, I don't know, maybe the biggest fear, potentially, my imagination getting a little bit carried away with myself when we have to jump over the side and clean the underside of the hull, so scrape the barnacles off the hull. However many times we need to do that, because that creates drag.
Yeah.
And then you've got a whole food chain attached to those barnacles. What fish is going to be that barnacle? And the big fish eat that fish.
And then a bigger fish.
Bigger fish. And then when you're like, oh, we've got all sorts of chasing us. So, yeah, but like jumping in and going, what's down there in the era deep of the ocean?
So this is my non-scientific
That
and
might be
biological
my
brain.
fear.
So the barnacles will grow on it even in that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because you're going so slowly.
So slowly, it's just they're all there, just attached.
Just all attached to it.
Yeah.
The average speed is kind of three knots. It's walking pace.
Yeah.
So you'll get algae and barnacles and things that attach to it.
Right. Yeah.
And as Sally said, that's then the food chain comes. So it's what lies beneath.
What lies beneath.
I think that's
Yeah, indeed.
everybody's
That's-
natural fear is what lies beneath.
Yeah.
And things that you may get sharks and whales.
Yeah.
And marlins are big.
Marlin strikes.
A big problem. In that the marlin will be fishing for the tuna under the boat or the fish under the boat, and they stun the fish. And in doing so, they can accidentally put their beaks through the... Are they called beaks?
Yeah, they are
Beaks
called
through
beaks.
the hull.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can put a hole through the hull of the boat, which you then have to very quickly fill.
Plug.
Plug,
What
and
lies beneath.
epoxy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are
And that's an
risks.
occurrence that does happen
Yeah.
fairly regularly.
No, not
like,
too much.
In terms of all of the boats it's going to happen to somebody probably.
It happened to somebody last year.
It did,
During the
wasn't it?
course.
Yes.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
a lot of talk about it when it happened and trying to understand why they do it. Or is there a way that you can avoid them doing it? And that sort of thing. So there's a lot of interest about marlins.
So your biggest fear
But that's not the major.
is jumping off the
Marlins.
side to clean the boat halfway across the Atlantic. Yeah, don't put the snorkel mask on.
Yeah.
Don't have a look.
Got a rugby skull cap as well, just to make sure we don't bop the old head down on the barnacles.
Yeah, that
Good
wouldn't
luck.
be good either, would it?
No. No.
So that's one fear. Your biggest fear, Julie?
I think my biggest fear is the mental challenges to because it is so isolated, and you are bonding a relationship with 4 people that you're going to spend 24 hours a day, 40 to 50 days with them in a very, very confined space. And it's my fear is how will I cope with that myself? And so I think it's the mental challenge. You know, how will I behave when I'm tired and hungry, exhausted, scared?
Yeah, exactly.
All of those things. I don't know because I've never done anything like this before. So I don't know how I'm going to behave. I'd like to think I behave in the right manner. I do all the right things, but you just don't know. So it's going to be an internal
I
battle.
suppose you're going to have to hold each other to account in that regard,
Yeah.
and then have the honest conversations from time to time. Because inevitably we're human, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're under stress, we're going to snap, or we're going to...
But we need all each other. There's 4 of us on that boat. We all need each other on that boat, helping each other.
It's the only way you're going to get across to Antigua.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got to be prepared for that.
There'll be a mix of hand holding to each other, but there'll also be a mix of, you know, slap round the face. Come on.
Now you're going to get this one because it's your turn.
Let's get on with it.
I did it
Man
the
up.
other day.
Was it man up, woman up?
Yeah.
Man up, woman up. Yeah. Across the board.
Yeah.
Definitely. A very quick break from this week's episode, which I hope you're enjoying. If you are enjoying, please remember, do help us and help yourself to make sure you don't miss an episode by subscribing and reviewing the episode. So that's it. Short interlude from me. Let's get back to the conversation. And what's the thing you're most looking forward to other than finishing?
For me, it will be the isolation, I think.
Okay.
The chance to switch off. We're all attached to our technology these days. It's almost unavoidable, particularly, you know, with business and children and life and, you know, WhatsApp groups and things. So the ability to actually switch off, you're not switching off because you've got to be very switched on, but you can switch off from just day-to-day life.
Attributes
for a little bit.
Stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yes, yeah. I think the isolation and just being offshore, being off grid, and getting back to nature.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely has that effect on you for sure. It's and that's what I'm
And is yours
looking forward to.
is a similar kind of feeling of...
Yeah, definitely. And definitely, just to be out there basically and just forget all of those trappings.
Yeah.
I certainly, family is number one in my mind. Obviously, I've got 2 boys.
How old are the boys?
They are 11 and 14.
Okay.
Yeah, so parents and family, cousins, nieces, nephew, that kind of thing back at home. So that for me, I sort of looking forward to see them at the other end and finishing. It would be quite a cool goal.
I wonder that your 2 boys think about mum after taking this challenge.
So, I've got Harry, my youngest. He just thinks I'm a little bit bonkers, a little bit mad, and asks me all sorts of inquisitive questions. Yeah. So he likes to ask me all the fun questions, like, so how many sharks are you going to see? What are they going to be like? That sort of factual. And then William, my eldest, comes out with factual stuff, and that kind of thing, and was just more interested to know where his washing was going to end up whilst I was away.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's problem.
it's interesting. Yeah. So I think that everyone thinks we're mad.
Yeah. So I've got 2 boys as well. And
Okay.
they are 20 and 21.
Okay.
And Miles, my youngest, he, I think he's secretly quite proud because I do hear him. I hear from other people that he's talking about it to his own network. He's building his own business, so he's talking about it to his own networking group, and I hear that. So he doesn't tell me he is, but I believe he is. And then Rob's gone into the Royal Marine, so when I told him, he just shrugs his shoulders. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever, man.
Go on.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And in terms of what a typical days, I mean, we talked about it's 2 hours on, 2 hours off, but there must be lots of other things that you need to. You're going to row, you're going to eat. We talked about those things, but what does a typical day look like?
Yeah, it's going to be rowing, eating. It's getting in the water, So we've got a water maker on board the boat, filling up jerry cans of water so we can eat.
Of course, you can't carry the amount of water you need on the boat.
No.
Yeah, so that's our little lifeline, the water maker. We carry all the spares to basically build a new one as well. So that will have to keep going.
So who's the engineer?
We will all be engineers.
We will. So Mary's doing our weather routing and navigation, and she's said, "Can I opt out of water making duties?"
Yeah.
So it'll be me, Sally, and Ed, and we're going on a course in July
Right.
to learn.
Because
how
that is
to-
your life.
It
line,
is.
isn't it?
Absolutely,
Whatever
absolutely, yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it is. Well, the lifeline before that is the solar panels and the batteries, because that's what drives the water maker.
Exactly.
So our battery management needs to be tip top,
Right.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, so it's all, navigation. We might be fixing things, need to fix things, prepping meals for each other, on and off watch, but cleaning as well, like salt water on the bodies.
Yeah.
So that is a big,
Yeah.
you've got to really look after your bodily functions and cleaning and things, because that can rapidly
Yeah.
kind of have an adverse effect and go out of control. So yeah, I'm going to keep myself clean with those buckets.
yeah. So in the 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 2 hours rowing is obvious.
Yeah.
But then in your 2 hours off, you've got to do the water maker's going to be going during the sort of lunchtime hours.
Yeah, midday. Yeah.
And then you've got to do self-admin, so keeping yourself clean, eat, hydrate, and then finally get to sleep.
Yeah.
But maybe nav and fix
Yeah,
it.
there might be something else in between that.
Yeah.
That might
So it's not really 2 hours on, 2 hours off.
it's definitely
not.
not 2 hours.
2 hours on.
Sure, 2 hours on, yeah.
And
But
if you're lucky, you'll probably get half hour to an hour sleep.
Probably an hour.
maybe
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll have a dental fine tea at some point.
We will.
As you come into Antigua. I'm obsessed.
It's the washing, isn't it? Keeping clean and making, like you said, the salt sores. So the hands, the bottom, and the feet are the three areas that will suffer.
And doing that whilst you're outside in a boat, whilst it's lopping about all over the place, could be physically exhausting.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I struggled on dry land. So the middle of the Atlantic in a swell. Yeah. Don't envy that at all. And around that whole kind of picture, there, I saw some of the safety kit on the boat. Like the lines that attach you to the boat, and there is quite a high risk of capsize, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a risk of capsize. It's not as high as you think. They do capsize, and they are designed to right themselves. But they're very well designed.
Yeah.
They're like a cork on the water.
Yeah.
They're very sturdy boats, albeit they're light on the water.
Yeah.
But you wear a harness. You're clipped on to the boat. Life jacket as and when required. And what else have we got in terms of safety?
We have got, obviously there's grab lines that go
Oh yes,
down that side of the boat as well. So we're going to get this way. We've got the rolling sessions going on, and we are going to be getting waves that might catch us side on, and cabin hatches definitely need to be closed all the time. That's like a big safety. If any one of those is open, you get rogue wake in there, then you're that can cause a capsize or what have you. But no, the boat, you want to stay with that boat as much as you possibly can, because that is your lifeline, the boat. Yeah.
And the reassurance must be that this boat has crossed the Atlantic Oceans multiple times.
Yeah, they're tried and tested, and they're a good design. So it's a risky adventure, but it's the safety and the prep that goes into it is really quite robust.
Yeah. Something that we've all been made aware of. So we've all done, courses. We've done like sea survival, first aid at sea, VHF. We've done navigation, that sort of thing. As myself and Ed did it together back in March. Mary and Julie have obviously done it previously several times. So those things stay with you, all that sort of learning from that too. So it was nice for me to do it, because I just topped back onto my navigation skills that I used years ago when I was sailing as well. So safety is paramount. That's a big deal. So it's all something we need to be.
And it's looking after each other as well.
Yeah.
Looking after each other's mental health.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
Well. So the safety team will call us every few days, and they will speak to each of us individually to make sure we can't say, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine."
You need to speak to you.
As he's in the cabin.
These women are doing my head in.
Yeah.
Ready to jump ship. Hopefully not.
Like, you can't, Ed, you're attached.
No. Well, actually, we built you a plank.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And we've talked about family and we've talked about the children and, what the boys think about it and all of that. But this is a huge commitment, isn't it? How are you juggling training, training physically, training mentally, doing all of the other courses you're having to do and all of those kind of things with, being mums, having partners, but full-time jobs still, I assume? Yeah. Because you've got to keep life going until you go on this trip, haven't you? So
exactly.
how are you both finding that juggling act?
It's a massive juggling act. It's huge because so now you feel everything is just getting closer and closer, and there's that sort of it's 6 months to go now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel that slight impending doom. No, it's not. But it's exciting. It's juggling. We haven't completed our fundraising. It's definitely definitely needing more sponsorship and fundraising out there and fundraising for our charities as well. But it's you're using every hour of your day to cram in as much as you can. So training is 6 a.m. every morning, up there in the row machine, juggling that with work, children from school, everything else, emails,
Recording podcasts,
chasing up sponsors, podcasts.
Promoting, it's all there, isn't it?
And then now we're getting more trips out at the weekends. So our weekends are getting booked in, our weekends and holidays, and that time is reduced now. So it's getting as much time together as the four of us as we can on the boat.
I would say that the campaign itself is a full-time job.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm run my own business in Christchurch, and so I'm trying to juggle that as well. I would say I'm doing a fairly good job of doing both jobs at the moment, but it is every hour of the year. It's almost every hour, isn't it? You don't stop from 6 a.m. till maybe 10 or 11 at night, and it's all consuming in terms of juggling your day job and the campaign. Yeah. There's very little time for anything else.
Yeah. Which is why you must have this huge passion to complete the project. Isn't it?
Absolutely.
If you did it and you thought, this will be a good thing. This is a fun thing to do. This is a challenge.
No, this part.
I suppose at this point, this midpoint in the campaign is when you find you've truly got a passion and a focus to do it.
Yeah.
Because without it, you wouldn't make those sacrifices, would you?
And there's no going back now. It's I think once you get to that 6 month point, that's it. You're in now. You're knee deep. So we're doing a lot of events. We're doing things like this podcast. We've done the food festival. We've got the New Voice show coming up. Hopefully the boat show. There's various things coming up.
Got lots of support locally from various restaurants and bars and things locally in Christchurch, putting on events for us, which is really great. And us putting ourselves out there and organising. So it's all these little bits.
It's all the things you probably don't think of when you say, I'm going to row across the Atlantic, I'm going to buy a boat. They're probably that stuff around the edge isn't the stuff you think about. It has to come along and it's part of the journey, isn't it?
And the Atlantic campaigns have a really robust checklist of all the items, and we've had to do a lot of shopping of various items, toolkits and spares. And then obviously
boat prep and
huge. It's a big list of
which is expensive lift as well.
It is. But it's all to do with safety, and there is no stone unturned in terms of what the equipment on the boat. And then we've had the boat rewired. Keith Marine did that for us, which was fantastic. Had a few upgrades done to the boat, and it's all about making the boat run as efficiently and smoothly as possible. And it's covering off all the points of failure. If you can prep for all points of failure, then you're giving yourself the best chance to succeed without too many complications.
Yeah, because that's what the journey should be about.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
And what do you both as individuals want to gain from this? You undertake this kind of mammoth challenge. What does good look like? As well as obviously completing the row and that sense of accomplishment, that few in the world will ever do. What do you want to gain as individuals? What does good look like for you from completing the challenge?
For me, I think good looks like knowing how I behave under extreme pressure.
I would agree. Yeah, I'd be the same.
I'm actually genuinely interested to know how I react and behave. And also I love learning more about the ocean. I love learning more about navigation. It frustrates me because I don't get the time in my normal day because of running a business and life to spend as much time as I'd like to doing things like that. So that's going to force me to really get to grips with navigation and charts and tech. I think it's more about how I'm going
finding
to
a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that would be my similar thought as well. I feel that I suppose from sailing it however many years ago, I'm a different person than I am now. So it'd be interesting reacting in different ways.
Different ways.
Just feeling fulfilled for whatever reason that we're, if we end up in a really hard situation, I'd like to know that we're all looking after each other, and I've helped the team as well as one individual. Now that feel that I've given what I can do back to the team, as well as getting good fun out of it as well. So okay,
it would be lovely. It would be lovely as well to step on the boat as friends and step off the boat as better friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a
friends
great
to keep,
ambition.
isn't it?
Friends
exactly
to keep
that.
for life.
Yes. Yeah, knowing what you've been through.
Yeah.
And what you're capable of.
And those memories are they'll stay with us, won't they? And know that we've shared it with our group of people.
Do you think it's going to be life changing?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know how. I don't really know how that looks. How it's going to end up changing my life. But I think it would be. Yeah.
There has to be. You kind of think it needs to be, or should be.
Yeah.
Almost kind of simplifying life and realising what's really important to you in life.
Yeah.
With your friends, your family, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that's that sense of solitude, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
On a very small scale, I'm going to ride from Land's End to John O'Groats in September, 9 days on the bike, and I'm kind of looking forward to just that time sometimes away from things, because you get that chance to reflect, don't you?
Yeah.
That in itself becomes life-changing.
Yeah, it does. I think it's
a challenge
as well.
like this.
Yeah.
That sense of self-achievement, self-belief
Exactly. Yeah.
must kick in.
Yeah.
And a bit of a life reset as well.
Yeah.
I think we underestimate the impact that our daily lives have on us now with the onset of technology as well.
Yeah.
So it is a reset, which I think we probably all need.
Yeah.
Me too.
I know
Not many of us go to such extreme lengths to reset
to go and find that, but give it a go.
There are many places you can go in the world now where you can truly reset.
No.
But even then, we've still got constant comms. We've got sat phones and equipment that means we can call on shore.
That's right.
And speak to the safety team and download, files for weather. There are priorities, really.
Yeah.
So there won't be a huge amount of speaking to friends and family. A little bit,
but we can certainly obviously share our, what's going on in one week to another. We'll know exactly where we are.
Do you think we'll run out of things to talk about?
I don't know. Maybe we're kind of talking not too much now, so we've got tons to talk about when we're
Save it up. Don't tell Julie that.
I'll keep that.
I've got a corker of a story to tell you, but I'm gonna keep it.
Look at that.
One in the bag already. Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Is that one for Christmas Day?
Yes. Yeah. It might put you off your Christmas dinner.
Oh no.
So, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Brilliant.
We've actually got a freeze dried.
I was going to say freeze dried Christmas dinner.
Yeah. Colin Nash, who's a chef in Christchurch, he's going to make us a Christmas dinner.
Wow.
Dehydrate it for us. So I don't think it will look like one, but
no,
it might taste like one.
It might taste like one.
Do we all like sprouts? Do you like sprouts?
I love them.
I love sprouts.
Sprouts are great.
Love
them. Awesome. Oh, it's brilliant. We're all
yeah.
Oh. Colin, if you're listening, you've got to put some sprouts.
Not too many. Don't go overboard.
No, don't
Adverse
go.
effect on that day.
Okay. And this sounds a little crass to probably be asking this to you before you undertake the challenge. But do you think this is the start of something for you both, of this kind of further life of adventure?
I think, yes.
I think there's something going on in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a resounding yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Watch this space, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you must have got to this point only, with your own personal resilience and determination, but with the support of others. So who has been supporting you on this journey so far?
I would say for me it's friends and family
Yeah.
that have been supporting me so far, and the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, yeah, team, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, friends and family foremost. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my husband is, I don't think he's quite realised. He was like, we'll have our marriage, but it's fine. He knows I'm slightly bad. But yeah, he's awesomely supportive, so I thank him tons. Yeah, and parents and my brother as well. My brother does think we're totally mad. My brother's at EGA.
Yeah, I do.
And yeah, he's a very good sailor, a Finn sailor, but he's like, oh, what's wrong with you? So yeah, friends, family, definitely massive support.
Some of the
And work as well, work colleagues.
yeah, some of the biggest supports actually for me is for the rowing club members, the women's squad.
Yeah.
We've been training almost every morning, every week for quite some months now, and they are all there at 7:30 in the mornings.
See those times, something on and off. Yeah.
Every day. It's very rare that we're in the boathouse on our own.
Wow.
So that's hugely supportive, because it's actually very difficult to sit on a rowing machine
Oh,
for
it so is. Yeah.
an hour and a half, 2 hours. But if you've got other people there, it does help.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's nice to have that support around us, isn't it? It's fun.
Yeah.
And you are doing this not just for yourselves, you're doing it to raise money for charities. So what are some of the charities that you're aiming to raise money for?
Definitely. So Ellen MacArthur Cancer Trust.
Okay,
Which is
yeah.
a definite love of mine and Mary's, but
Yes.
everyone's really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's based in Cowes on the Isle of Wight. So it's just helping kids that have gone through cancer, various stages, and they've had treatment, they come out the other side, and they just need to reboot, think who they are again, and by getting them all together, Ellen MacArthur's Cancer Trust kind of puts them on a boat, and they will have great days, either
Okay.
with water guns or actual sailing and things. So it just gets them back down to just being a kid and just enjoying themselves. It's a great
Trying to get rebased back into some normality.
putting a group of people on a boat is just such a fun way of just getting back and having fun and forgetting all those worries.
Brilliant.
There's also Teenage Cancer Trust.
Yeah.
Which is one of Mary's choice, and I chose Awesome Chance, which is a small water-based charity in Gosport, and it's for underprivileged children in Gosport and Portsmouth, and they do quite a lot of rowing as well, which worked. And Ed's chosen Blesma, which is a limbless veterans military charity.
So you've all chosen a charity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing way of doing it, isn't it, actually?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
And then my
It's pretty cool.
work are being really supportive as well. So St James's Place Foundation will match anything. So I've been doing some events with them separately, and they match anything that we raise for that, and then they put money into Ellen MacArthur and Awesome Chance.
Okay.
So so it's a roundabout way. Yeah.
And key sponsors to date? We'll talk about what people might want to do or could do to get involved and to donate. But who have been some of the key sponsors to date?
Yeah, there's still some spots on the boat.
Definitely. Yeah, we would like those filled splendidly. What have we got? We've got Sovereign Technology.
Rainer lenses and Aeon eye drops, because I had my lenses replaced in my eyes and they love the story. And we've got the Captain's Club.
Yeah, Captain's Club, definitely. Captain's Club.
Concord Gin.
Yeah.
Tailor-made Design.
Yeah, who's doing our kit.
Okay.
We've fought,
Wise Guys.
Oh, Wise Guys did a lot of our posters. Then we've got people like Reform Media that did the website. Beyond Me, which is a new company set up sort of after the grave type of digital
Yeah, you got Boodles.
Oh, Boodles, the jewelers. Yes.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a bit glad.
A bit random.
I wandered into Boodles to get
Because you wander in.
because you do.
Right?
Yeah. So I wandered into Boodles because I needed to have a repair on an old ring, and got talking to Boodles about it, and they said, "Oh, yeah, love it." And it turned out that one of the MDs of Boodles had actually watched the finish of the race in English Harbour. So so that was a nice one.
Very cool. That was a really nice one. We got Stuart.
Oh, Stuart's Garden Lounge Centre. Yeah. So it's growing.
National, local, everything.
Yeah.
It's primarily local. I think that most of the companies are Bournemouth and Christchurch Pool based.
Yeah.
Rayner and Aon are Guildford.
Mm-hmm.
So we're it's building momentum all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, and the boathouse, of course.
Yeah. I mean, we've got lots of, support from events that we've gathered together, food festivals. So literally, the public generation and support from that. Some, money's in the pot and whatnot for the food festival. And we're also doing a fun thing, trying to get sort of school children or just general school children any children involved, really, sort of having names on our boat. So we're doing a £30 have your name on the boat job, which went down really well when we were at the food fest. So they did. Grandparents came in. Oh, my child would love to have their name on the boat. Yeah. And then it's fun because this child's name is on our boat, and then they can track it.
And they'll track it, show the interest, get marine.
Cool. Yeah, and kind of get that STEM part of it involved as well. So we've got some other schools looking to support us, like BSG. We've got Ballard, isn't it? And we went to, it's our rowing BCS. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
brilliant.
That's good. But it's not just children's names on the back.
No,
it started with children's names, and now it's evolved to anybody who wants to have their name on the boat. So we've even got people on the boat who have passed as well.
Yeah.
So it's a
real mix of things. So as we wrap up our conversation, if people are listening and they do want to help support the challenge and help you raise money for those 4 great charities, where can they find out more about you, the challenge, and donate, I suppose?
Yeah, so definitely you can look us up as Ebb and Flow Atlantic Row online.
Yeah, so we've got a Facebook page and we've got an Instagram page, and then obviously the website, there's a donate button, and then you can contact us direct, email us direct if any companies want to do a corporate sponsorship for the boat. Our email is hello@ebbflowatlantic.com.
Okay.
Our Facebook is Ebb and Flow Atlantic 2024.
Yep.
And then the Instagram is Ebb and Flow _row.
Perfect. We'll make sure all of those links
Thank you.
go in the show notes.
That's the hardest part so far.
That's the most under pressure you've been.
It is.
I was looking at Julie's answer then.
Yeah, I did notice.
Actually,
The team leader took control.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll put all of those links into the show notes
Amazing.
for you. Good luck with the challenge. It's been an inspirational conversation to have with you. Good luck with the challenge. I'd love to have you back on the podcast in January, February, when life might be returning to a bit of normality, hopefully, for you. And you can tell our listeners all about the experiences that you've had.
Yeah.
That would be. It definitely won't be January.
No,
So-
more
February.
Fab/March.
Moving on to March. We'll be back by February, yeah. But
But that would be amazing to come back and tell all the stories. Yeah. We'll try and document them as we
who
go.
knows how we felt now,
that
what
was
we felt then.
exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Listening back.
We'll ask similar questions again and see what responses we get. So thank you both. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Julie. For being great guests on the podcast. All I can say is, wow. I think I'm in awe. I think you as listeners will be as well. I mean, as I said at the start, 2 incredible ladies, but what a challenge they're going to undertake. What dedication. They're setting aside whole aspects of their lives to fulfill this challenge. I hope you feel inclined to support them and sponsor them and go to that webpage. We'll put all the links in the show notes, so please do support them. But yeah, I'm inspired by them. I've got my own short challenge, as I said during the podcast in September, but that now seems completely insignificant. I've really enjoyed that episode. I hope you are enjoying the Evolve to Succeed podcast. We're going to continue to bring you fortnightly episodes with great guests, so please do remember, whatever your favourite platform is, do subscribe. Do help us by rating the podcast as well. do please follow and support us. It means a lot to us. And remember, you can always go to www.evolveadvisory.co.uk to find out more about Evolve and all of the services that we offer, helping businesses to start, grow and exit. Thank you for listening.